Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you doing, guys, today?
Pretty good. Rewatching yesterday's class because it was really confusing. How are you?
That's nice. Yeah, I'm working. Spending my lunch with you guys. Okay, I'm gonna wait 1 more minute and we're gonna start. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Today I'm gonna talk about XPath locators and CSS selectors. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about XPath locators and CSS selectors. And as an introduction for Selenium locators, I'm going to tell you what a Selenium locators are. There are methods of locating web elements on the web page. All Selenium locators are objects of class org.openqa.selenium.by. As an example, we have here a web driver, Firefox driver, and we get to Google website. We're making web element where we're gonna put element by name Q, and we're sending a key cheese to that. So location by unique or name attributes are most reliable methods which should be used whenever it's possible. However, what if the elements does not have an ID or a name? Luckily, Selenium provides alternative powerful locator methods. It's XPath and CSS selectors. Sorry, I can admit 2 more people. I'm gonna start with XPath locators first. So what is XPath? It's XML path language. Is a query language used to find elements in XML documents. Since both XML and HTML are markup languages, using tags and tag attributes, we can benefit using it to find elements in any HTML documents. XPath syntaxes. So dot stands for selects from current cell. Two dots, it selects from parent cell. Dash, it selects from a root node. Two dashes, it select node in a document from the current node, matching the selection no matter where they are. Add, it selects attribute. Star matches any element, and end, it's logical end, and or it's logical or. So we have an XPath example here, code and some paths that I have. So the first one is absolute path to element form, which we have here. The second one is locating form at any place within the document. So we have, it's actually looking for the first form, but since we have only one, it's gonna show this form. Locating element form, which has attribute ID with value login form. We have form with attribute ID login form. And the last one is locating element form, which has child tag input with an attribute name, which value equals username. So we have locating form, which child has input, and attribute, which value equals username. This one then. Okay, here's more examples. The same HTML code, different examples. The first one is locating input at any place in the document having attribute name with value username. It's input with name username. The second one we have, this one is locating input that has parent tag form with attribute ID having value login form. We have form, which ID is login form, and it looks for input. So it's gonna give us an array of this text. The third one is locating tag input where attribute name is continue and type is button. We have input that where attribute name is continue and type button. Locating the last one is locating fourth input in the form with ID attribute and value login form. So it's going to look for the fourth input with ID login form with the parent. Okay, so I'm so sorry. It's going to look in the form which has ID login form, and it's going to look for the fourth input. Okay. So how XPath working with text? Text is a function that returns the first text node of the element. Also, we can find it with contains. Contains is a function which verifies if a substring is present in a string. So here we have some examples. Here's the code. And here we have from the first one, it's all tags A, the text exactly equals link third. The second one is parent of A, the text exactly equals link third. We have link third here, A link third. Next one is all tags A that contains text third. So it's gonna look for substring third if it contains in the string. The next one is all text P that contains a child tag A with text equals third. After that, we have all text span that contains text first. And next one, we have all P that contains first. Words first. And what do you think about the last one where P contains text first and there is not gonna be any matches? Why you think that there is not gonna be any matches, guys?
Because it should be span text first. It contains.
Yes, so because when it's equals, it looks for exact string, and when we have okay, it contains. I'm sorry, my mistake. So it's gonna look for first in P tag, and we don't have any first in the P tag, so it requires a node for a text to locate it. Okay. Next is we have all text P that contains tag with the text exactly equals third. The second one, we also not gonna have any match, no not specified in contains. I'm not actually, to be honest, sure why it doesn't work because it is in P. We have fourth, word fourth, but when we put it with dot dash, it's working. So probably it needs an argument or something. I'm not sure, but it's not working. The second one, I mean the third one, it's all text P that contains text link and attribute a line that equals right. We, as you can see, we can combine them together. The next one is all text P that contains text link and attribute align is equal right. We have P that contains link and align right. Okay, the next one is all P that contains text, this text, or attribute right. This is going to work because we have logical or, so it's going to look either this one or that one. The last one is not gonna work since we don't have any of this, or our align does not equal left. So there's not gonna be any match on that. Okay, so a little bit task for you guys. What is going to be an outcome for this? This is the HTML file, I mean code, and what is gonna, how are you gonna say for, as example of this, as I was writing, how it's supposed to sound. Can you please tell me what this one is going to be? If you can understand me, I'm sorry.
All tags of input with ID and then double slash, is it? As,
For all in the current node, from the current node. Yes, so the result the result for the task, or I don't know how to say that. Anyways, it's going to be all input where attribute ID equals value of the attribute for that has parent label which text equals facts. Can you understand that, guys? Or I'm sorry, or you want me to show it on the on
Oh,
this?
which line is it going to pick? Label for test ID facts?
Yes. So it's going to look for input and it's going to look for ID. It looks also for attribute for to have, and the label text of the label supposed to equals facts. So this is going to be this line. It's all confusing though, but I think that it sometimes helps to read from different sides, not only from left to right, but also from right to left, because probably it can be um, even more complicated than this one. Okay, now we're gonna start with CSS selectors. What is CSS selector? It's a method to find an element based on CSS. This is some example where you can see CSS selectors um, in the web page. Here is CSS selector syntax, sorry. Hashtag stands for ID, dot is class, braces is for attributes, star is any tag name, space any child. So this it's not quotes, it's just a space. More sign is direct child, plus is closest sibling next to the element, and tilde any sibling next to the element. So we have also here some examples. So this is going to be locating element from locating element form, which has attribute ID with value login form. The next one is locating tag input, which has attribute name equals value user name. Equals name is equals username. Okay, this one there. Yeah, sorry. Then the third one is locating element input, having class required, and type text. So this is also the first one. Then we have locating element input, having class pass field. So this is going to be the second one. Then we have locating input with type button. In the element with ID login form. ID login form. Now here we're locating second child, which is an input element with an element with ID login form. Okay. I think I wrote too much element. Second child with an input with ID login form. So the ID login form and second child is this one. Then we have more examples. So here is just gonna locating P element on the page. The second one, it's locating span element, which is a child of P. This one is locating tag A, which is direct child of P. Then locating tag A which is the closest sibling to a text span and child of P. Then we have locating tag A, which is any sibling of A, text span and child of P. This is A is any sibling of tag A of text span, and okay, this is not correct. So anyways, it's looking for any sibling with A, which is going to be span. CSS selectors examples. So there's more examples. It's the same code, and then we have the first one. Why you guys think that there is not going to be any match on the first one? Okay, so there's not going to be match because no siblings tag A for tag P. There is no siblings for tag P. The second one is going to be all text P that contains text link. And it's going to return P since P contains A. Then all text A that contains text link. Also, it's going to return A. And then all text A, which have parent tag P that contains text link. Although this 3 is going to work only in CSS, CSS that before CSS3, because on CSS3 contains has been removed. So it's not going to work there. Then how we work with attributes. This is a select P element with align attribute. The second one is select P elements with an align attribute which value is right. The third one is select P element, which is align attribute which value contains right. So select a P element with an align, which value is right. Select P element with an align attribute which value ends with TH. This is also the same one. Then we have select P elements with align attribute which value starts with RI. And then we have select P element with an align attribute which value contains substring IHR. Then we have select P elements with an align attribute which value starts with R and ends with T. So you can play with that, and also you can do as well with starts and ends with some letters or some substrings. Then I also have, guys, cool source. I think that. So this is for CSS selectors. Here you can see CSS selectors, and here is kind of like a web page. And when you click on some of it, it's gonna show you what exactly this selector does. And also it says right here. So I'm gonna upload a PDF file so you can also have that. I think that it's really nice because for CSS selectors, it can be confusing. Okay, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for joining. Hopefully you understand everything and everything was clear. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
If you have any questions,
Thank you.
you also can text me.
We forgot a lot already, you know? It's just recap.
Yes, I know, but still. It was nice. It was nice at least to make you remember something. Thank you, guys. Have a
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
bye.